And welcome to all the garbage out there who listens every morning. I have never seen a more disastrous 12 hours for a political party than what has happened from 6 p.m. last night until this morning. I begin with Joe Biden talking on a Zoom call. So the world can, you can't walk back what everyone sees. Let's play cut number 21.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
All right, Trump supporters, 75 million of you who voted for him in 2020. You're garbage, according to the incumbent. What does Kamala Harris have to say about Joe Biden last night? Cut number 17.
I have been honored to serve as Joe Biden's vice president.
So she'd been honored to serve the man who calls half the country garbage. What was the essence of her rally for the administrative state last night? Cut number 10.
And here is my pledge to you. I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to make your life better. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. I pledge to listen to experts, to those who will be...
Stop. If we got that isolated, I want you to hear that. I don't see the isolated bit, but I pledge to listen to the experts, Dwayne. This ought to scare you to death. Was Dr. Tony Fauci in the crowd? He's an expert. Was Randy Weingarten in a crowd? She's an expert. They shuttered our schools for 2 years while we have learning loss. How about Larry Krasner and George Gascon? They're experts on not prosecuting criminals. The experts of the San Francisco, Berkeley area, the experts on whom Kamala Harris relies, are not the experts you want to run your government. Kamala Harris had 75,000 government employees and residents of the District of Columbia out there last night. These are not the people who believe that you ought to be free, ought to be prosperous, ought to take care of your own property, make your own decisions. They do not want you to have insurance provided by your employer. Last night, she redoubled her pledge to have Medicare pay for elderly home care, which is so astronomically expensive that no one dares actually even look at the numbers. They will blow her out of the water. The reaction was swift. Calling everyone garbage, as Joe Biden did. It's been walked back in his statement, but he said it on a video call. He's taking a insulting and idiotic and repulsive comic who went off script at Madison Square Garden 2 nights ago and attributing to Trump and then calling you garbage. I got to play it again. I can't believe it. Cut number 21.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
And I one more time. Play it again, please.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
I really, for an insult comic to make a stupid, offensive, ignorant joke, and I don't even know his name, it's Tony something, is a terrible thing. But for the President of the United States to say about 75 million Americans, and you, most of you, I know Democrats listen to this too, for the President of the United States to say this is nothing short of astonishing. Try it again.
The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Now remember, no one will say he should step down. Kamala Harris won't say he's lost it. No Democrat will step up and say the President of the United States isn't shuffling a full deck. So Kamala Harris is honored to be his vice president. And she is pledged. Did we get the short version yet, Dwayne? I'm looking for the short. He's going to work on it during the break. All right, I'll play the long version. I don't need the long version. I just need the part about I will rely on the experts. Cut number 10.
And here is my pledge to you. I pledge to seek common ground and common sense solutions to make your life better. I am not looking to score political points. I am looking to make progress. I pledge to listen to experts, to those
I
who will
pledge
be
to
impacted.
listen to experts. I pledge to listen to experts. I got Mary Catherine Ham coming up. I got Matt Continenty. I've got Andrew McCarthy. I've got all sorts of people. Senator Fisher's coming along. Scott Bob's going to represent Congress. I've got Comfortably Smug coming along. Thank you for all the nice comments about my appearance on the Ruthless podcast yesterday. But I must say, they're going to have a blast with this. The Garbage Experts Day. You are garbage. She is an expert person. I am stunned by this. What about the 51 intelligence professionals who told you that Hunter Biden's laptop was fake? Are they expert? Are they? I just can't. Gretchen Whitmer shutting down home and garden shops. Is she an expert? The mayor of Chicago, who will not charge a hate crime for a man who shot a Jewish guy on the way to the synagogue, Allah Akbar shouting guy. No hate crime there. Is he an expert? The experts the Democrats are offering you hate you. They think you're garbage. There's an old Jonathan Swift saying, that which said while drunk has been thought out beforehand. It might be Samuel Johnson. Well, that what's said on a Zoom call by the President of the United States is what he's actually thinking. And, you know, Kamala Harris had prepared remarks. I pledge to you I will rely on the experts. I am just so stunned by this. It was such a terrible night. Let me add a couple of reactions. Here's Brad Todd. He's a pollster, co-author with Selena Zito on the most important book of the 2016 cycle, analyzing it, with Anderson Cooper, cut number 19.
I hate to be the skunk at the garden party here, but I think, you know, I plan political events for a living, and I think this was political malpractice to put her in front of this White House. 68% of Americans think that the country's on the wrong track, and they blame Joe Biden, and increasingly they're blaming Kamala Harris. By standing in front of that White House tonight, she's going to own all 68% of that disapproval. And, you know, I think it's a comfort reason. I think Northwest Washington, D.C. is about her best precinct in America. Everybody likes her there. She should have been in the Union Lodge in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh tonight. That would have done her a lot more good. And I also don't think that she did a lot for the Nikki Haley voters. They've talked a lot this week about that they were going after Haley voters. And I think the Haley voters had to be looking at this as like a Christmas present they opened up and it was socks. You know, they got nothing new from her, nothing that wasn't in her convention speech, frankly. And I don't think this moves the ball for her here at the end.
It was the political equivalent of a Hail Mary pass, and it didn't come close. It wasn't like the Commanders succeeding. It wasn't like Winston hitting the long one to Cedric Tillman at Cleveland Huntington Bank Field. Every single interview she has done, Dana Bash, 60 Minutes, Call Her Daddy, Club Shay Shay, of course, Brett Baer. She's been a disaster. She's been an absolute disaster. Everywhere she's gone, she's been a disaster. And Scott Jennings on CNN said it best last night, cut number 8.
I don't know that I would expect this president to be everywhere in this moment. I mean, look, a critical element, any coach will tell you, any CEO will tell you, a critical element of running a team and winning is assessing the strengths and weaknesses of your team members and making sure you allocate them in the right way. Joe Biden has never been a big arena speaker. He's never been the most fluid speaker. And by the way, as someone who had a stutter growing up, it's very obvious to me that there's an apostrophe at the end of supporters there. He was referring to the garbage spewed by supporters, not simply the supporters themselves. But Joe Biden has been on the campaign trail. He's best getting ice cream in Maryland, like he was today. He's best showing moments of empathy in Arizona, like he was last week. He's best with union folks, as he was in Pittsburgh last week as well. You use people where they are best. You put Obama in a big arena, you put Michelle in a big arena, and you put Joe Biden in front of a bunch of union people doing retail politics.
You could make the argument that they would be fine if Joe Biden wasn't anywhere near a microphone between now and next Tuesday.
Let me just accept the most charitable framing of this, which you just gave. Yeah. Why is he sitting in front of a laptop at the exact same moment Kamala Harris is out on his backyard trying to give the closing argument to her campaign? What in the world is he doing? Now, I don't accept your framing of it personally because I actually do believe he, Harris, the Democratic Party, and most of their campaign do believe that half the country is garbage. They've also said people who go to Trump rallies are Nazis. And so it's pretty apparent the disdain with which they hold half of the country in.
It's not true.
100%, Scott Jennings. They loathe you. Do not vote for any Democrat in any office, most especially not Kamala Harris, because I do not want her experts running the garbage in America, because they will treat us again like garbage.